Welcome to Keeping It Realty.
Welcome back to Keeping It Realty. I'm your host, Martha Smith.
And I'm your co-host, Natalia Perantoni.
And today we're diving into something that is needed in order to buy a home.
Wait, so let me guess. Is it credit?
You got it. And we got a very special guest today. Without any further ado, let's welcome to the show Saile Alvarez, and as we know her, Gigi.
Hi guys, thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Saile Alvarez, and I specialize in helping people improve their credit score so that they can achieve some of life's biggest milestones.
That's amazing. How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for a little bit over 5 years now.
Okay. All right, so let's start with the basics. What exactly makes up a credit score?
So your credit score is your numeric representation of your credit worthiness. So this is made up of 5 simple factors: your payment history, your credit utilization, your total accounts, your hard inquiries. All these things help come up with your credit score.
Okay, and what is considered a bad credit score?
Typically, a bad credit score would be anything under a 580.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
Is there such thing as unfixable credit?
So, no, I have not ran into anything we can't salvage. However, some things may take longer than others.
Okay.
So
What's the lowest credit score that you've seen? Just curious.
The lowest I've seen is a 358.
Okay.
That's
And
crazy.
you brought that back?
Yeah, we were
Okay.
able to build and establish new credit and get her going.
Okay, cool. Can someone with no credit history qualify for a loan?
Absolutely. They'll just be subject to higher interest rates.
Okay.
So what are some common misconceptions people have about credit scores?
So the most common is that if you pay off an owed debt collection, that it would be removed off of your credit report. That's not necessarily true.
Okay. Let's say someone has a late payment or a collection. What should be their first step to clean it up?
So I would say to get with a credit specialist so that they can let you know what's your best approach. Sometimes it could be, a good faith removal letter, or sometimes we need to go ahead and start disputing these items.
Good. This is good information. What's the difference between paying off a debt and removing it from your credit report?
So when you pay off a debt, it will reflect on your credit report as paid, but it still shows that delinquency. And when you get it removed, it won't report that delinquency anymore. It'll be completely removed off of your credit report.
So you want it removed from your credit?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what you can help people do?
Yes.
Got it.
For my first-time home buyers, we just want to give you guys some tips. What's your best advice for someone who wants to buy a home but isn't sure about their credit score?
I would say that they should get their true credit report, and that you can get from annualreport.com for free, and they'll give you the 3 credit bureaus reports: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion.
Got it. Okay.
And for the listeners, can you repeat where they can find their credit?
Annualcreditreport.com.
Awesome. What's a quick way that you can boost your credit?
Some of my quick advice would be pay down your credit cards. Paying down your debt usually helps. Not collections, your debt. And sometimes even being added as an authorized user on someone's good standing account.
Okay. I actually did that with my daughter before she turned 18, and then it really did help.
It really helps you put but good standing account.
Right.
Emphasis.
You could also mess up their credit, I'm sure.
You want to be careful.
So what's your take on credit repair companies versus doing it yourself?
So disputing online was made for the credit bureau's benefit, that we would be waiving a lot of our rights that way. They're losing the paper trail. So I would never recommend to dispute online and work with someone.
That makes sense. Okay. So what are some things a buyer can do to protect their credit during the home buying process?
Not applying for any new credit or even using their credit at that. Just stay away from your credit cards during that time. Don't make any new purchases.
Like buying a car.
Yeah.
Right, last minute.
Maxing out your credit card, buying furniture.
That's right.
Right.
Okay.
Do not do that.
All right. Do you have any real life success stories that happened recently? Somebody that came to you with bad credit and then you were able to help them buy a home that you can share with our listeners?
Absolutely. So just in August, I had a family, and they were income ready. They had everything ready to go, down payment, but the wife's credit was holding them back from being able to qualify. In less than 60 days, we were able to get her qualifiable and to the closing table, which was a big deal for that family.
Wow, 60 days. That's amazing.
That's pretty quick. So speaking of mindset, right, I think that credit is such a big thing regarding mindset, right? So what mindset shifts do people need to make about credit?
Definitely would be that money can take you far, but money and credit can take you further.
Ooh.
I like that. Say it again. Say it again.
For the people in the back.
Money can get you far, but money and credit can get you further.
I love that.
Definitely.
All
Jen.
right. Let's play a game.
Let's go.
Okay, we're going to ask each other questions, and you're going to determine the correct answer. We're just going to say what we
Okay,
think.
let's do
okay?
it.
So, Natalia, true or false? Closing a credit card helps your score.
False.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay, good.
Okay, so Martha, what's worse? Lots of small balances or one big one?
I think lots of small balances because there's a higher chance of you maybe missing a payment.
I get it, but no, I would say the worst one would be the high utilization because you want to keep your credit utilization under 30% so it won't negatively impact your score.
That makes sense. Okay. Natalia, should people use those online credit repair apps and services?
Yes.
False.
Okay.
Again, you're waiving a lot of your rights and getting rid of that paper trail that is really for your benefit to get these items removed. So I always ask people to steer away from disputing online.
So this is, just to be clear, you're talking about the credit repair apps that claim they'll fix your credit, not the credit score
Right,
apps
like
where
even
you
on
check
Credit
your...
Karma, it asks, you can dispute online. Some people are successful, but you'd have higher chances, the same chances, and getting those items removed.
Martha, how
Yes.
soon after fixing your credit can you apply for a mortgage?
How soon? I would say as soon as your credit is mortgage ready.
True.
Okay. I got one right.
I did terrible. Anyways, final questions for Gigi.
Okay, so that was fun. Here are some final questions that we have for you. How long does it usually take to fix bad credit, would you say?
So the answer varies. However, you can see changes as quick as 30 days, but I ask my clients to give me about 2 to 6 months to not underdeliver.
Okay, that's pretty quick.
Okay. Will medical collections stop me from getting a mortgage?
So they just passed something in March that they cannot use medical bills against you for qualifying for a mortgage loan.
Good to know.
Good to know. So
Yeah.
if you have medical bills, they cannot be used against you when you're trying to buy a home. Okay?
Correct. You got it.
All right, so how long does it take for credit to improve when you pay off a credit card?
So this can take up to 45 days, but credit bureaus do report every 15 days. But for some reason, they take longer to report and can take up to 45 days.
Okay. What's better, paying off old debt or saving for a down payment?
Unless that old debt is hindering you from qualifying for something, then I would focus on your down payment.
So I have this question asked to me a lot. Can a buyer still qualify for a loan if they had a bankruptcy or foreclosure?
The answer is yes. So with a bankruptcy, you have to wait sometimes 2 to 4 years,
Okay.
depending on which bankruptcy you used. And for foreclosures, you'd have to wait 2 to 7 years. But you
Got it.
still can.
All right.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. How much do late payments affect your credit score, and how long do they stay on your credit?
So late payments are detrimental to your credit score, and they can drop your points 50 plus points easily.
Okay, so use auto pay, people.
Yeah,
Do not let-
auto pay.
How much will my score go up if I pay all of my debt?
The answer varies, but I would say 50 points and up you can
Wow.
get back.
Okay, well, thank you so much. This concludes our episode with credit repair specialist Saile Alvarez, aka Gigi. This has been so helpful. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer some of our questions. How can our listeners get in touch with you?
So you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Credit with Gigi, and you can find me on Facebook at Saile Alvarez.
Thank you, Gigi. And to our listeners, if your credit is preventing you from home ownership, be sure to contact Gigi for credit consultation.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
See you next time on Keeping It Realty.
Thank you all for tuning into our podcast. And I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at keepingitreal_T and share this episode with all your friends.
If you guys have any questions and topics that you guys would like for us for future episodes, let us know. Shoot us a message. We would love to hear from you guys.
See you next time on Keeping It Realty.